Hello, hello, my friends. It is time for my June candle collection update. This is a series that I started on my channel way back in January of 2024 when I shared with you guys what was in my entire candle collection. I was kind of on a mission to become very familiar and intentional with my candle collection, really decide what candles kind of sparked joy and which ones didn't. And then going into 2025, I asked all of you guys, do you guys want me to continue with this? Because I think a lot of you, some of you guys really enjoy just having very, very big collections, but I know that there's quite a few of you guys who are also on this kind of journey to try to be intentional about what you have, maybe fight some FOMO. And so I always feel like this is just a fun little series for me to share with you guys the way that I am trying to stay accountable in avoiding FOMO and making sure that my collection stays within the boundaries for me personally of just being fragrances that I really, really enjoy burning. Because especially for me, having this channel, I love home fragrance, but I will say that sometimes one of the things that I have been trying to find balance with is making sure that I'm burning new and relevant candles that you guys want reviews on, while also being able to burn things that I really truly enjoy. I am somebody that enjoys home fragrance predominantly through candles. You are going to see at the end of this video, I was sent a couple of room sprays, so I'm going to share those with you guys. But predominantly, I don't really use like plugins, or I don't do like wax melts or anything like that, just primarily because my home isn't very large, and I like variety in home fragrance a lot of the time. So I get bored with things like, I feel like it just locks me in too much if I have like something in a diffuser, and it just becomes too much. So anyways, this is a video that I just like to kind of share with you guys, that what I started out with at the beginning of the month, where I'm at right now. This is also the monthly series where I typically let you guys know what candles I declutter, because like I said, I'm really focused on just burning things that I really enjoy at the moment. So if you like this video, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new. But let's go ahead and start out with how many candles I began the month with. So at the beginning of the month of June, I began with 71 candles in my collection. That's a lot. Now keep in mind, I am a reviewer, and I know that there's a lot of people who look at 71 candles and think that's not really a whole lot. I've got way more in my collection or in my stash. I do always like to clarify as well, you guys, I don't really consider myself a candle collector. I enjoy home fragrance, but I don't really I do know that there are some content creators who buy candles primarily just to keep in their collection. They like them for reference points. But that's not me. I don't have the storage for that, nor is that really like my personality. But I do have quite a stash here that I like to kind of burn through and use up. So I began with 71. Over the course of the month of June, I did end up finishing burning. Does that make sense? 24 candles. So I did upload 2 empties videos for you guys in the month of June. I did one at the midway point of the month, and then I just uploaded one the other day. So between those 2 videos, I counted that I emptied 24 candles, which would have brought my collection down to 47 candles. Now, in the month of June, I brought in a grand total of 27 candles. Those are candles that I either purchased or they were sent to me in PR. So I will just briefly run over the list of candles. At some point, I've shown pretty much all of these in a haul. Sweet cream from Kringle. Let's back it up here. From Kringle, I had an order of sweet cream, coconut and blueberry tart, cherry crumble, saltwater taffy, jelly donut, pumpkin banana muffin, fresh lilac, coral, lilac and lily, blueberry milkshake. And then from Homeworx, I had 3 key lime cakes come into my collection. If you caught my empties video the other day, you know that I already emptied one of those. Peach upside down cake, I did get a backup of that. Strawberry shortcake, which was a backup. So those all came in from Homeworx. And then from caramel sundaes, what would that have been? My May restock order came in at the beginning of June. And from that, I had banana walnut waffle, pecan marshmallow, summer sorbet, cranberry coconut cream. Those were my caramel sundaes candles. And then Kringle sent me some PR for their reserve launch. It was like their summer reserve, which I called the Country Club collection. We had Polo, Tea Time, Tangelo Sour and Blackjack came into my collection. Now, you're going to see when I talk about the declutter here in just a moment, I've already sent one of those on their merry way. And then Homeworx sent me some of their Christmas in July candles, which I did do some dedicated reviews on last weekend, which were Vanilla Almond Creme, Cypress and Fir, and Cookie Caramel Crunch. Those are the ones that came into my collection. And then the last candle that I wanted to share with you guys in this haul is actually a candle from the fragrance brand Snif. Now, hopefully later this week, I will be sharing with you guys a personal fragrance haul. I picked up another fragrance from them recently that I really, really enjoy. I've purchased, you guys know that I have purchased their personal fragrances. I have their hotcake scent, which I really love. My daughter and I both love that scent. If you're looking for an excellent personal fragrance combo, hotcakes with the Saltaire saltwater vanilla. Oh my goodness, that smells delicious. I love their Gentle Reminder perfume. I love their Heal the Way perfume. And like I said, I just purchased something else from them recently. So I'll have that in the personal fragrance video, probably, like I said, later this week. But a candle that intrigued me, I just mentioned the perfume that I already own, is the candle. I already have it in the box here. This is Heal the Way. So I'm going to go ahead and take it out of the box here to show you guys how these come packaged. They come packaged really nicely. So you have that box, and then they're within another box here, which makes it like perfect for gifting. So you pull the lid off right here. Now this is one of their 2-wick, how much is this? Like 8.5 ounces, I think. It says it is a clean soy blend wax. Yeah, 8.5 ounces, I believe, of wax. This does have a lid on it, and it has the same like wording on the outside of the candle. It's some type of like, I don't know if it's an affirmation or something. Honestly, you guys, I'm not really into that kind of stuff. Totally cool if you are. I'm not. But then it has a lid here that I'm currently having a hard time getting off. Feels like kind of like a plastic type of lid, but it is nice that they come with a lid for storage. Now this has 2 wicks, but this is in their Heal the Way fragrance. Now, I have mentioned that Heal the Way was probably my most complimented perfume of 2024. It's a fragrance that I tend to prefer to wear probably like, I would say like late August, going into probably like early November. It's kind of like a summer to fall transitional scent to me. There are notes of pistachio, Palo Santo. I don't know if they're actually listed here on, is it listed on the box here what the fragrance notes are? I don't think it says. It says soy and vegetable wax blend. Let's see. I don't have the fragrance notes list. Oh, wait. Yeah. Yes, I do. Okay. Fragrance notes here are pistachio cream, Divana, Palo Santo, vanilla absolute, musk, and amber. And this fragrance, it's good. It's sweet, but slightly like resinous. It's a really, really lovely fragrance. Like I said, the perfume is sold on the Ulta website as well. The candle I ordered directly from Snif because I had a 25% off coupon for leaving a review on one of their other fragrances that I have. But I really like this scent. So I'm really excited to burn this. This I feel like is going to be an evening burn. I'm probably going to try burning this just in my bedroom first to try it out. But I'm really excited. My friend Drew already has burned through one of these candles, and he said that it did pretty well in his home. But this one I did purchase specifically to be like a bedroom candle for me. I love this scent so much. So yeah, I did purchase another candle from the Snif website, but I did want to be honest with you guys and let you guys know that I'm sending it back. I did purchase the Instant Karma candle, but I sent it back because it just wasn't for me when I got it in. It was very, I typically like vetiver, and I saw those types of notes in there, but really the fragrance note that I got the most out of that candle was a patchouli note. It reminded me an awful lot. If you happen to like Kringle Candle Reserve, the Heartwood fragrance, then you would like Instant Karma from Snif, because I thought that they smelled very similar to like my scent memory. But yeah, I didn't really like Heartwood. I ended up decluttering it last year. So anyways, really excited to see how this Snif candle performs. Yeah, very excited about that. So I wanted to show that to you guys. And then I did get 3 room sprays from Homeworx. They did send this to me as part of their like Christmas in July promo. I do know that they had a TSV on a lot of the candles that happened this last weekend. What was that? The 28th and 29th. However, they will be having another TSV on Christmas in July products, I believe on the weekend of the 11th. I think it's July 11th or 12th. I think it's July 11th, which happens to be my nephew Asher's birthday. But I do believe that they are doing another TSV on the 11th. So there will be another weekend for TSVs. Maybe if you missed them the first time around. I don't know if that'll include the candles. I would assume so. They did send me some body scrubs, which I'll talk about in the personal fragrance roundup. But they had initially said that they were going to send me some of their hand soaps. And then they said, oh, sorry, we're going to backtrack and we're going to send you some room sprays instead. So I was like, cool, I'll go ahead and take some room sprays. These are pretty hefty room sprays, you guys. These are 16 fluid ounces, so bigger ones. And this is the fragrance that I was really intrigued by. This is the fragrance Making Spirits Spice. I think last year this fragrance was available in a big luxe-sized candle on QVC. I think it was called Sean's Making Spirit Spice. Okay, this is a very nice, I already sprayed this. I don't want to spray it right now because I have another candle burning. This is like that, like kind of like an orange pomander type of fragrance. Let me see if they have the fragrance notes here. Oh, they do. Juicy orange, apple cider, holiday spices, tea leaves. This is a very nice fragrance. I like this a lot. In fact, I think I saw on the QVC website that they have a candle available in this. I think it's like a candle and a reed diffuser. I don't really use their reed diffusers, but I like this fragrance. In fact, I like this fragrance enough that I did place an order for the hand soaps. I ordered the hand soaps in this fragrance as well as Winter Fireside. You guys know I love that fragrance from Homeworx. So I have it in this Making Spirit Spice. I will use this predominantly probably in my bathrooms in the wintertime, but I really like this. And I feel like you get an awful lot. I don't know what the pricing is on these. I should probably look that up. If I have the pricing, I'll put it down below for you guys. And then the other fragrances that they sent me were Grandma's Gingerbread. I did have this fragrance in a candle last year, and I like the way that Homeworx does gingerbread fragrances. They do them very well. Yeah, really good gingerbread type of fragrance. Really, really like that one. We have fragrance notes here of warm gingerbread, ground cinnamon, crushed nutmeg, and brown sugar icing. I could actually see my mother-in-law really liking this fragrance, but I don't know if she really uses room sprays. If not, I'll offer it to her, but if not, I'll keep it. Like, I do like this fragrance enough. I just always think, like, how much fragrance do I need in my life? Like, I can always share it a little bit, right? And then the other fragrance that they sent to me was Garland Berry. We have fragrance notes of fir needles, holly berries, blackberries, and balsam. This is another one. It smells really nice. This is a fragrance I would probably use. I would use this more so probably in the month of November. Again, a really nice scent. So I will probably, again, we use room sprays predominantly like in the bathrooms in our home. So I really like that they are a little bit different format. I like that they're bigger, I guess. So big thank you to Slatkin & Co. for sending that over to me. So those are the things that I hauled. So if we're keeping up to date here, began with 71, emptied 24, hauled 27, which brought my total back up to 74. And then let's go ahead and talk about really quickly the candles that I ended up decluttering from my collection. Okay, first one. Life's a Beach from Kringle Candle. It was in their little, like, those 3 wicks that are, oh, what would I call them? They're like they're like the labeled 3 wicks. They're not the painted jar 3 wicks. They're like the ones that have the label that a lot of people said, oh, these look like Goose Creek candles. A little bit more basic in terms of their fragrance profile. Kringle tends to veer a little bit more conceptual with a lot of their fragrances, but these, the fragrances in those 3 wicks, I think are very basic. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I think that there's a lot of people who just like a very good, reliable fragrance. And that Life's a Beach fragrance very much fell into like a musky sunscreen type of scent for me. It was too musky. musky, in my opinion. Something in those fragrance notes was not hitting right for me. I did do a dedicated post-burn review on that, but I did have a good friend who liked that fragrance, and so she took that one off of my hands. The next 4 fragrances, I'm going to tell you where they ended up going, but the next fragrance that I decluttered was the scent Bottle Rocket. Now, that was part of the summer flight candle that Kringle released. I think was that late May now. That was when they had their cherry pie candle and Bottle Rocket. I loved cherry pie, ended up repurchasing cherry pie, but Bottle Rocket was more of like a sugary, icy Bottle Rocket popsicle type of scent, which I know a lot of people like that. But for me personally, it was one of those scents that like I could take or leave. And so I did end up passing that along. I will tell you in just a minute who I passed those along to. 2 other fragrances that might surprise you guys that I ended up decluttering were Sand and Santal from Country Candle. Again, a nice like sunscreen type of fragrance. But again, I don't know what it was, you guys. Something has happened to me recently where I have mentioned that a lot of fragrances that I particularly like in body care, for whatever reason, I'm not loving them in candle format. I don't like them in home fragrance, which is making me a little bit nervous now about that Heal the Way because I love the perfume of it. But the Sand and Santal fragrance reminds me an awful lot of sunscreen, which I like. You know, I like, kind of reminds me a little bit of like the vacation sunscreen, not exact, but I do like it. But it is, again, kind of in that musky, you've got that like kind of like sandalwood and neroli, some coconut mixed in there. I did like that fragrance, but again, I don't know if it's my mindset that like I'm starting to feel over summer fragrances. And I was just kind of like, I can move on from this. And then kind of in that same category of fragrances, I did also declutter Sunset Sands, which I feel like was a sister to Sand and Santal. Now, Sunset Sands actually was released in a limited edition country candle lineup back in like January of 2024. And then in February of 2024, Sand and Santal was included in their summer lineup. And there's part of me that wonders if the Sunset Sands was kind of like one of the original prototypes for Sand and Santal, and then they tweaked it and did Sand and Santal, because the fragrances are very similar, slight differences, but I felt like they were like within the same fragrance family. So I went ahead and passed that along. And then another fragrance, I just mentioned it in the haul, and I told you guys, if you caught the video where I did kind of my initial cold sniff impressions, the Reserve Candle Tea Time, I did go ahead and pass that along. I didn't even burn it because it was very much like a fresh cut grass. Very almost slightly like that like bitter note in there of when like the grass is freshly cut and the blades kind of have that like bitter green type of note. I definitely smelled that in there. There's a little bit of earthiness to it. And so all 4 of those candles, it started out with me originally just wanting to pass on tea time, but then I heard my friend Summer from Fragrance Junkie here on YouTube and on Instagram, she was really interested in purchasing Tea Time. And so I had reached out to her and I said, hey, I don't really like this fragrance. Would you like me to send it to you? She is not a Kringle ambassador, but she does like to review, and she has been purchasing from Kringle a lot over the last year. So I figured that I'm the type of person, I would rather pass a fragrance along to somebody who I think is genuinely interested in its fragrance that's in their wheelhouse. So I told her, I said, hey, while I'm passing this along, I had watched her review on Bottle Rocket, and she said that she enjoyed the fragrance and she would consider repurchasing it at a later date. So I told her, I said, hey, while I'm sending Tea Time to you, do you want Bottle Rocket? And also I'm going to be getting rid of Sun and Sand and or Sunset Sands and Sand and Santal. Are you interested? And she was like, sure, send them my way. So I packaged all 4 of them in a box and sent them on their merry way. They did make it to her safe and sound. So I'm very happy. Like, I always like to pass on things if I know that somebody else might get some enjoyment out of them. And it always feels good sometimes to send it along to another reviewer. I can't do that all the time because honestly, it gets a little expensive with shipping. But every once in a while, I just like to pass things along to somebody else who I think might enjoy them. So Summer, I hope you enjoy your candles. And I'm sure that she will keep you all posted. I know that she's in school right now, and she's very good about typing out her reviews ahead of time. She's very concise in her reviews and her thoughts. She does a good job with that. But I know that she mentioned that she has been pretty busy she's continuing her education. And so give her some love, you know, over on her channel or over on her Instagram. She might be posting some reviews over there too. So keep an eye out for those. So those 4 candles all went to Summer. And then just this weekend, I did end up parting with a fragrance that I enjoyed, but it was actually my mother-in-law's birthday. My mother-in-law enjoys home fragrance, but she loves more, like how I was saying, she would love the Grandma's Gingerbread fragrance. She loves very like warm and cozy fragrances. It does not matter what time of the year. And so I went through my candle stash, and I always go through sometimes things that are already burned and say like, hey, do you want some of this? But then it was her birthday. So I was just kind of looking for something extra to throw in that hadn't been burned yet. And so I did go ahead and give her my 3-wick of Kringle candles, Cypress and Cinnamon. Great fragrance. But I knew that it was a fragrance she would love. And sure enough, she opened up the gift and she was like, oh, I love this. And I was like, I knew you would. So I did go ahead and declutter Cypress and Cinnamon. And I will let you guys know, there are a couple of other fragrances that are actually on my chopping block right now going into the month of July. I'm gonna eyeball them a little bit more and see if I want to keep them. But there's a few that I think, there's some that I might need to do some reviews on, and like I like them, but I'm not sure that I love them. I think it'll just depend on what comes into my collection with all of the fall fragrances being launched, because truthfully, I love burning fall fragrances more than any other fragrances throughout the time of the year. I would say it would be fall, and then a very, very close second would be Christmas fragrances. But yeah, I love fall fragrances. And so there's part of me that's like, I want to be able to burn all the fall fragrances that I really, really enjoy going into this season. Like I said, that's the whole point of me being intentional with my collection, is finding that balance with burning things that I genuinely enjoy, with the need to be able to review new things for all of you guys. But I'm really trying to get a little bit more cutthroat about fragrances that, like, I burn them, I do the review, but if I don't love them, going ahead and just passing them along to somebody else who might really enjoy them. So that way it makes room for me to burn the stuff that I am loving. So grand total as of today, with what I have counted up here, we were at 74 candles. I decluttered 6. So as of today, I currently have 68 candles in my candle collection. That number is going to grow. Like I said, I mentioned in my video for my empties, I do have Kringle Candle PR on its way to me. I am getting the 6 fragrances that will be available as part of the fall candle launch that is happening Thursday, July 10th. I will make sure to do my very best to have a cold sniff impression video up for you guys, hopefully this weekend. So that way you guys will have a couple of days to narrow it down. You guys know with that launch, that's not a limited edition or anything like that. That is going to be part of their fall lineup. So you have some time. It's not like you have to get everything when they drop on July 10th, not a limited edition. So there's no pressure on that one. So I do have those 6 candles. And then I will tell you guys, I went a little wild on the Caramel Sundays restock that happened over the weekend. Part of my excuse with that was that they are not restocking until August. So I'm like, well, if I don't have to spend money in the month of July on the restock, I might as well get what I want. So I do have some more candles on their way to me as part of that restock. But otherwise, you guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to do my very best to do like a no buy July. We'll see how that goes. But right now, I feel like I've got a lot of great candles in my collection. I'm trying to finish burning up the summer fragrances this week, so that way I can start burning some fall scents, or maybe like some fall transitional type of fragrances. So we'll see where my candle collection gets to this month, but I'm trying to keep it, again, like I said, with Caramel Sundays not restocking. The only temptation that might be there is, I do know that Bath and Body Works might be launching some of their fall stuff this month. We'll see. We'll see if anything really catches my eye, but I'm trying to kind of like rein it in this month. So let me know if you guys are going to do a no buy for July, or if you're like, nope, everything's candles to the wind here. We'll see here. But anyways, please hit thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment box down below if any of the candles that I decluttered, what do you think about me decluttering those? I hope I didn't stab any of you guys too harshly with my declutter there. But yeah, let me know if you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you decluttered any candles or what ones you brought in. So again, please hit thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.